Appreciate you all tuning in with us today. I'm one of your hosts, Angelo Foreman. I have my other host with me, Christopher Honeycutt. Chris, man, how you feeling this weekend, bro?
I'm doing well. What's poppin', Hoop fam? It is a pleasure to be back. I'm excited to get this going.
Yeah, man, it's we got some good stuff coming up. It's been a crazy off season as well already. I'll be honest, Chris. Like I wasn't expecting a lot of the moves that happened. I didn't expect any of them, but outside of Giannis, I think Giannis was the only one that I felt made sense. But everyone else, man, it's been a lot of shockers that have happened over the course these last couple of weeks, man. But we'll go ahead and dive into one of the biggest trades this offseason. Jaylen Brown being acquired from the Philadelphia 76ers and swap with Paul George. Making $54 million. It's not the Paul George of old. It is the older Paul George, nonetheless.
Right.
But they got a couple picks, and I get it. Philly probably didn't feel like those picks were going to materialize into any player of the caliber of Jaylen Brown at that point in
Right.
time. So you're getting a player who had an MVP caliber season, who is only going to get better. I don't think Jaylen Brown has even touched his ceiling yet. He may be 2 to 3 years away from that, which is very, very scary. And you pair him with a young Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe still on the rookie deal. And then, of course, you have Joel Embiid, an MVP candidate and caliber player. But there's still more. I know we'll deep dive into Joel with his injury history and what we think he can bring to Philly or not bring to Philly. But just want to get your thoughts, man. What do you think about this trade that happened from Boston side and from Philadelphia side?
I have so many. I have so many.
I
As
already know you
I
do, bro.
and as I previously shared, and I'll leave that for the latter. First and foremost, congratulations to Philly. I thought that this
Absolutely.
was a
Absolutely.
huge swing for them. Um, Pairing him, obviously, like you said, with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, if healthy and hungry, I think can be a real championship contending team, especially with the East still feeling so open. Um, and I didn't expect Philly to be a suitor. I think they kind of
I
came
didn't
out of
either.
left field. I hadn't
Hmm.
heard any trade rumors regarding Philly, and
Right.
I really didn't know or feel like they had any valuable trade capital to throw at
I
Boston.
didn't
I
either.
certainly wouldn't have expected Boston to receive, Paul George, and for
Hmm.
that to be enough for somebody like Jaylen Brown, who, as you previously stated, was a top five, top six MVP candidate last year. And so, again, kudos to Philly. And but for Boston, man, I like I
Hmm.
shared before, there is no basketball justification for trading Jaylen Brown. I don't even think that you could make the argument that he and Jason Tatum didn't have the chemistry that would have been necessary for them to be competitive moving forward, especially since
Yeah.
they won. I mean, 2 years ago, so that had already been proven.
And that's the crazy part. You just said 2 years ago.
Like, come on, bro, this is the other day in context of how short
Not
two
even on
years is. And you move a
two
guy
years.
who was an all NBA player and an MVP candidate for an aged podcaster, no disrespect,
Hmm.
to PG, but that is essentially who he is and I think he kind of identifies
At this
as
current
now.
moment. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm just being honest with you. I think that he identifies more as somebody who, at least mentally, it feels like has moved past his day job and
Hmm.
is just fulfilling the duration of his contract, and
Because you're
wherever
getting
he
paid a
has to
lot of
go, he
money.
has to go. And I don't blame him. I ain't gonna fuck that up
Facts.
either.
At all.
So, but it'll be interesting to see how he and Jason Tatum pair. Who knows? It might work well. I'm sure Jason Tatum is going to feel like now he has more autonomy to take the shots that he wants to take and have the ball in his hand the way he wants.
On them damn step
Um,
back threes, hopefully not.
yeah, I mean, shit, it's going to be a step back three competition between him and PG because that's all they're getting to.
Hmm.
But what do you think?
I got mixed feelings, and it's more so on Boston side. So, like, I heard Jaylen Brown, he didn't like the way that Boston handled that whole situation, and neither did I. I think Jaylen Brown would understand them looking to trade for Giannis.
Right.
Now, here's the thing that is still tricky to me to where I don't understand why Boston was even looking to ship either one of them. if you didn't have an injured Jason Tatum this year, I still think Boston had a. I'll be honest with you. I still think Boston should have won this year. They just took bad shots every single game, and I think that was the reason why they lost. I don't think because who beat them? Philly, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I don't feel like Philly was no point in time a better team than them. I feel like genuinely Boston took bad shots and that forced them to lose the series. But I didn't like how Boston handled this situation. I hate how Jaylen Brown has always been the one brought up for trade talks. But I mean, to be honest with you, we all know that Jason Tatum has always been the golden child for Boston. Doesn't say anything, very clean cut.
Yeah.
And again, I just think it's you looking at an organization, you don't want someone who's going to make waves in that manner. So at that point, Jaylen Brown, you're exposable. Now, I do think for Jaylen Brown, I think this is a really good pivot point in his career to where you're not going to a team. You're not going to a team where you have to struggle and pick up everything that's been left off and got to wait to see how they move pieces. Now, I do think Philadelphia won't keep Joel Embiid. Now, where can he go? I don't know. But at this point, you're not going to get a whole bunch back for Joel, but you got to get at least some servable pieces because at this point, I have my two guys. I got Tyrese and I got Jaylen. And if you want to be able to maximize those two, they both play downhill. VJ plays downhill, but Tyrese can also score the basketball from a 3 at a high clip. They added some other good pieces during the offseason. I think they got Dean Wade.
Yes.
I saw Anthony Simon signed a contract with him. You picked up the young Barron from Alabama. So you got plenty of firepower from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, I think all of those guys get after it as well. And I think Philly is in a great spot to make a lot of moves to be honestly contending this year.
Yeah.
I think Knicks capitalized this year because a lot of us said with the Jason Tatum injury, Dame Lillard not being in Milwaukee, this was the year that Knicks had to capitalize, and they did. So I think this was the year they took care of business. Cool. Now I'm not counting Knicks out and saying, oh, they're not going to be back next year, but that is still a tough task. You lose Mitchell Robinson, you still got to replace that. I'm not saying Mitchell Robinson is this savior of a team. But that does help, and I think a lot of other teams also got better this summer, where Knicks kind of stayed the same. And we know the recipe to repeating in these last 8 to 10 years, you cannot stay the same. You have to add to that tool. You got to add to that toolbox. So it's going to be interesting for Boston. I feel like they kind of took a step backwards, and now I think you're putting a lot of weight on Jason Tatum still coming off of an Achilles injury. To now say, hey, we need you to really be this MVP guy.
Yeah.
But now, what does your offense look like without Jaylen Brown?
Because Paul George isn't going to be able to fulfill what Jaylen Brown was. No. So if Jason Tatum has nights where he's a little off, where you need him to be your, de facto closer, I don't know if your boss's organization, if that is a reality that you're going to be comfortable with long term. It sounds good on paper. But when it really comes down to it, even, God forbid, you end up in the Eastern Conference Finals against Philly.
Yeah, because
the type of guy who's going to match up with JB the way he's supposed to.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that series alive, and JB's probably going to average 70.
Come on, he's going to cook.
Like, what they play each other now 4 times, that I'll be honest, that
is and they're in the same division.
That you traded him to the same division. Like NFL, that is never happening. No one's getting traded to the same division.
Never.
You went to the whole other conference. That's not happening.
Come on, bro.
And for Boston to trade him so Boston has to know something that we don't. They have to be getting ready to make a trade and use those assets to get something else. Because outside of that right now, you're making Nico Harrison look like, he never traded Luka. But something else, bro, we talked about, and this is probably a bigger conversation. That Luka trade to me felt like now that changed the shift of power between players and ownership in front offices. Like now we're seeing, and some of these guys, they're older, like Kawhi, who got removed. But again, we're seeing the Giannis get moved, who's in his prime. We're seeing the Jaylen Brown get moved, who's going into his prime. LaMelo Ball, who's a superstar, getting moved, not even in his prime yet. We're seeing superstar caliber players getting moved because a lot of teams are hesitant to pay top dollar for players that they feel like they can't build a championship team around them. And even not just a championship team, but also they're just hesitant to pay money because if money wasn't an issue, do I think Boston moved Jaylen Brown? I don't think so. Yes, there's other things that were connected to that because Paul George also still makes quite a bit of change. Um, but I don't think if we're looking at that Kobe era where you're seeing guys of that caliber getting moved, you're not seeing Brandon Roy getting traded, you're
Right.
not seeing Derrick Rose getting traded in his prime. I don't see you seeing those things happen. But do you think that Luka trade caused a shift? And with LeBron leaving the league, who has been a very big voice for the players, and now that LeBron James, that Stephen Curry-esque, Kevin Durant-esque players, where they were able to control their narratives and how they moved around the league because of their talents. Do you think this next generation of players, Cade, AE, have enough pull to be able to have that same player level type of control, or do you think it will shift back over to the?
No, I think your thought process is profound, and not just because I think once LeBron moves out of the league, so will to some degree his school of thought around player empowerment will also obviously move. But I think part of it, as we
Yeah,
always communicate or as we always talk about, is the CBA. You know, the penalties around approaching the first and the second apron are so strenuous and they're so, um, constricting that it reserves teams to want to make big swings and big moves and to pay that extra and maybe that second or that third contract for guys who could potentially deserve it. Like even a guy like Jalen Duren, yeah, there should be a genuine conversation about his performance in the playoffs and whether or not he
facts.
deserves it. But we still only talking about 180 million. And for you and
Yeah,
I, it is life changing money. But for these guys, that's commiserate to the profession.
mm, yeah,
That is the kind of money you're gonna pay for a dude who's capable of providing what he's capable of providing on both ends of the
capable.
floor. And so, and that being the key word, capable.
Correct, because now is that potential. It looks like now where players were getting paid off of potential, it's starting to look like I'm not paying you off of
No,
potential no more. Like Jalen Duran, you're 22, but I've seen enough, and we've had a new team every single year for the last 9 years win a championship. So this potential that we didn't see in the playoff time where it matters the
yep,
most, we're gonna be hesitant every single time now. Now it's no longer, you know what? Okay, you did well in the regular season. Mm, I'll give you 50 million a year. Absolutely not. I don't think teams are doing that no more.
no, and
I
I
I
get
just don't
it.
see it.
And some of that you got to attribute to guys like Shea, guys like Jalen
Hmm.
Brown, who've been able to have the success they've had on the biggest stage on both ends of the floor.
Both
You have to
both
pay. You
ends.
have to be a two-way guy now, with the exception of
Hmm.
somebody like maybe Jokic. I'll even maybe give you Luca, who are these one of a kind offensive engines. If you're not them, you gotta play some defense, bro, or
No,
I'm not
facts.
paying you,
Facts.
and
Or
that's a
you just have
fair
to have
expectation to have.
you gotta have the perfect team around those guys. Because we saw with even with Denver, um, though Joker isn't like this crazy defensive stopper, he still controls the pace of the
Right?
game. And when I say controls the pace, what he does on offense still dictates how the team plays on their offensive end, which is so crazy.
Yes.
It's like we have to be so careful with this ball because if they get it back, more than likely he's scoring the ball at an efficient clip or he's getting it to somebody else to score at a hot clip. And I think that's what can help kind of suppress his lack of defensive powers.
Yes.
Luca, he had the support of a great cast in Dallas Mavericks. And kudos to Nico
Yep.
again. I think he did an incredible job of building that roster around Luca. You had another scoring punch to where you never had to worry if Luca was off. Kyrie, get the ball, go.
Yeah.
And you know he's shooting 50, 40, 90. So Luca could play exactly how he wanted to on the offensive end without really having to hesitate. But we saw what happened, as you mentioned. Once you get to that final matchup or those playoffs, if you are not playing both sides, like we
You
saw
gotta be
this
able
year,
to stand
Spurs
up,
and
bro.
Knicks, them boys, they got after it, both
Yep.
sides.
Yep.
Even I'll say this, bro. Jalen Brunson played defense.
Yeah. I mean, he's
He
relevant.
played, he played, he plays sound enough defense. Like him and Shea, to me, very similar. That you can't pick on them at times, but if they want to get down and play defense, they're gonna play defense.
Yeah. It's
And
and
hence
Steph has
that's why
that.
they want. Yes,
When
he
Steph
does.
got a little bit bigger, he became that. You know,
Correct.
before
He
he
got
used to be a
stronger.
guy you would put in pick and rolls
Easy.
and you
Pick
would
on him.
target. But
Yeah.
now you can't, and you can't be a smaller guard and get your shit off on Steph.
Nah.
He really ain't going for that. So to your point, yeah, I'm kind of glad that it's shifting because I think that it's going to be better for fans.
Yeah. No, and to your point, bro, I definitely agree. I think it helps us to be able to feel like the players are being held accountable. And for me, I'm never saying that get your money. I'm never want to sit and say, oh, someone should make this.
Right.
Now, I will say if I was a GM, again, i.e. to the situation with Jalen Durant, I'm not of the mode of paying someone off of potential. And I think there's a lot of things that have to be factored in, and those guys in the locker room know better than us. So
Hmm.
they can be able to tell us and say, hey, this is what we see in this player because of X, Y, Z, locker room guy, what he does that we don't necessarily see. But in my opinion, Jalen Durant's game is solely based off of Cade Cunningham. And if you
Yeah.
put him in a playoff
Highly dependent.
situation, that 20 and 10, I don't think Jalen Durant is capable of giving me that at an efficient
On
clip.
his
And
own.
so
Yep.
if you can't do that, if that's what I'm telling you as my second player, and we're looking at the rest of the league where you have Jalen Brown and Tyrese Maxey. I know for sure that number two player what they're going to give me every single night, right? I know with
Jamal and Jokic.
OKC, Jamal and Jokic. I know what's going to happen with that second player. OKC, Jada, if he's healthy. Like these other teams, if you have two guys, I know what's going to be expected that second player. I don't know if Jalen Durant can give you that in a playoff atmosphere unless he gets that jumper. And at this point, I just think he shot himself in the foot by not playing well in a playoff series on a contract year. So
Yeah.
hey, you may have to take this deal and then work your way out of it. Like, cool. It is what it is. It's a lot of money. It may be less than what you were anticipating, but again, that comes with the work.
Gotta go earn it. Yeah. You
You
gotta go
gotta you
earn it.
gotta earn you gotta earn, and I think that's what it is just now. Is they're expecting to get the money because well, I did this during the season. I did this for like, well, hey, when it mattered most, when we expected it, you didn't deliver, and so I can't just sit here and pay. I'm gonna pay you for what you've done, but you still gotta earn what's going to happen moving forward. So the kind of pivot. So I know we were speaking about the trades, Jalen Brown. I know that was a huge trade, but Miami Heat. I feel like that trade that was the first
Hmm.
domino to fall, and I feel like no one has really mentioned much about that trade. And they still have to fill out their team during this offseason. How do you feel about the move with Miami getting Giannis, and do you think that they'll have enough kind of assets to still build around that team and be a contender this year?
And that's my only reservation about Miami right now is that they don't have enough assets. And I don't even, unfortunately, because of a result of bringing Giannis in, you don't have any more draft capital or trade capital to use to bring in more assets to support him.
And Bam make a
And I
lot too. Bam making 60 a year.
and you got to pay Bam
Yeah.
because he's homegrown. You drafted him. He's been with the organization now. What is he on? Year what?
Ooh, maybe seven, if not, maybe more. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
So
Bam, yeah, he a
he
vet
is an
now at this point.
organizational vet, yeah. So, I mean, you have to keep him, and a large part of what you all
Mm,
have done schematically has been oriented around Bam. So, I mean,
mm,
shit, what else you gonna do? I don't know
facts.
if I even love the front court pairing though, all encompassing for the two of them. Like, I like it on
Hmm.
paper. I like the idea that defensively, I don't know what the hell you gonna do with the two of them. They can
Yeah,
switch off to any 4 and 5 in the league.
yeah. A lot of times you ain't gonna
And
score a lot on them. I'll say that for
yeah,
you.
like that. I mean, defensively, that's going to be unbelievable.
Nightmare
But they're not going to hit any threes. That
right
shit is
now.
going to be disgusting. And you just can't win in this league if you can't shoot the ball. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You got
Yeah,
to be able to shoot the rock. So unless they have some aces, in the back pocket that they're going to be able to utilize to bring in some more shooting support,
yeah,
I don't know, man. It might have just been a really expensive rental.
yeah. And I think this may
We'll see.
be for Miami. I think they're going to have to fill out that roster kind of before midseason, like how Lakers kind of made that trade for Luke. I think it's going to have to be one of those situations where you start the season off, see how that roster you currently have, see how they perform, and then try to add some pieces. But I believe Giannis is going to play exceptionally well, as he always
I'm
does.
sure.
But
Yep.
um, I think there's a huge spotlight now on Bam. Bam can no longer be mediocre. And when I say mediocre, I take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying
Right.
he's not valuable or not an all-star caliber player. But for someone making $60 million, if he was on TV every single night, the numbers that he does give, sometimes inconsistently, people will question it a whole lot more. Um, and again, it's just to be what a play-in team every single year, just
That
about.
ain't gonna cut it.
And again, you had more when you had Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the
Right.
engine of those last ones. Like, so I think Bam is going to have a lot. He's going to have a great year. This can't be a year where you're 17-8. Like, if it's only you two, you win Giannis. Like, those numbers got to bump up.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
again, you all are going to have to score. We know you're
Yep.
good shots, but you're going to have to score if you don't add any more pieces. And I thought they were going to retain Norman, but Norman he got some money and went to Chicago.
Which I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think he
Go
took
get
a couple year
paid.
deal. Yeah, and I know Miami. What you brought in Tim Hardaway Jr., which that's good. You bring in a shooter, but you're going to have
That'll
to
be
add.
helpful.
You have to add a couple more because even right now, what your point guard is Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell's not a
Still.
shooter, another defender. Like you got a
And I mean, you
five
have
with full
this.
of defenders.
And I guess what you're going to have to start Tim Hardaway at this point,
Got to after two, but
right?
shoot, if you do that, but they kept Andrew Wiggins.
Who's going to have to play the three?
So what you'll have Davion Mitchell, Tim Hardaway Jr., Andrew Wiggins, Bam, and Giannis. Which the
And that is a
only you got two
lottery pick.
shooters. Yeah, you got two shooters, which Andrew Wiggins can shoot, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. But not bad. I just think they got to fill out that bench. So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. But where do you think they'll land in the conference at the end of the year, as of currently constructed? Do you think they can be a top 3 team in the East, top 5 team in the East? What's your thoughts?
Bottom eight. Bottom eight, bro. I
With
mean,
Giannis?
yeah, respectfully, because you got to think
Okay,
every, not every, but a lot of the other teams, especially in the West, but even just thinking about the Eastern Conference, a lot of these other teams are neutralizing that addition of Giannis by other additions that they've made. Philadelphia is
correct,
going to be a far better team. New York
correct.
is still going to be formidable, if
Yeah,
not championship contending. Cavs are
consistency.
still going
Yeah.
to be formidable
Hmm.
if they don't make any moves. Charlotte got better.
They
Atlanta
did.
got better. Like some of the other teams
Damn.
in the East,
True.
Chicago is going to be hungry. I mean, it might be a
Yeah, they're
plus
gonna
eight
run,
win team, here and there, but they're going to be hungry.
and Caleb gonna be ready. I think he'll
And
be
then some of those
they
other
may even
teams
get
in
to a
the
play in.
East that will be walk-ins, like Brooklyn and Washington now. Okay, I mean, AJ might have 32
In
if you
Orlando,
sleep.
I haven't seen them done anything. I feel like Orlando's
And
about
we'll
to
get
blow
to
up that roster.
Orlando later. Because, yeah, I definitely wanted to kind of speak to maybe talking about teams who I felt were a little underwhelming
Mhm.
during the offseason, and Orlando was one of those teams for me. Um,
Bro,
but
let's
again,
talk about it, bro. Let's take it there, man. Like I know we've had our side conversations about like teams that are being absolutely quiet right now. We both are trying to figure like why are you all not making any moves? But yeah, if you want to speak on it, bro, like what teams, whether it's Eastern Conference West, that you feel like have been way too silent, and you think now this is going to kind of hurt their chances to perform at a high level this upcoming season.
there were four that immediately came to mind. And I
Hmm.
think all of them can be, they're certainly playoff teams and could potentially be championship contending teams.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
yeah,
Uh, the rumor that they maybe passed on a Giannis trade because they wanted to reserve Evan Mobley. I should kick
insane,
all of you niggas in the nuts. That's
insane,
crazy.
bro.
You don't want
There's
Giannis
no
because
way,
you want to keep Evan Mobley?
Evan Mobley, bro.
Evan Mobley.
I guess he a 10-time All Star or something that we don't know about.
Huh?
MVP, Finals winning MVP championship. I don't
And
know.
don't tell me the reason you decided you wanted to keep him is because you believe he's going to turn into Giannis. That's what you think,
I'm like, that's been the plan since day one, and it's not
guys.
materialized. So like
It's
at
not,
this
and it's
point,
not going to.
it's not. And that's no knock to Evan Mobley. He's a good player, but he's
No,
not
not.
Giannis.
And if you would have called me and you wanted Evan Mobley for Giannis, I would have sent his shit on the plane before he left my
Mhm.
office.
I would have hung
Before
up
he
so
left the
fast.
office,
Trade
his shit
done.
would have been on the plane.
Trade done.
Your bags will meet you in Milwaukee.
I
I
would have
appreciate
told
the service.
Shams if I was the owner, I would have reported the trade. Shams wouldn't even have to do his job. I would have reported the
Bruh,
trade myself.
I
Like, yo, we
got you.
got trading Evan Mobley
Come
right
on, bro.
now at 5:58 a.m.
Because you want to keep him.
They probably gonna lose
So,
Donovan.
and if I'm Donovan, I don't blame him.
They're gonna lose Donovan at
Especially after
some
I
point.
seen where Jalen just landed. Oh,
Hmm.
and you mean to tell me if I get traded, I might go somewhere where I could really contend? Like Donovan in
Hmm.
Atlanta? Oh my God. That's all they need. All they need is a two guard who can really
Speed
get to it.
and just
That's
score because they
all they
had nobody
need.
that could get a bucket. They had nobody that could get a bucket in that
So
playoff
if
series
I'm
besides
Atlanta,
CJ.
I keep my radar on him and Ant.
Hmm.
Ant especially. You bring Ant back to Atlanta,
Yeah,
my God. But that's not to digress.
it's
So
okay. It's
Cleveland,
okay.
Orlando, as we were just speaking about, I was actually kind of disappointed they weren't in the Giannis sweepstakes. I thought that was an
Hmm.
easy call to make, but I didn't hear anything about Orlando. Detroit, which I
Hmm.
hear that they may be trying to get KD, and I'm kind of on the fence about that addition, not from a basketball perspective, but it feels like KD's kind of becoming a locker room cancer at this point. Like, I don't know if this is
Yeah,
the
which is
guy.
unfortunate. Yeah.
And they feel tight knit. Like they feel like a group that kind of rock with each other. I
Hmm.
don't know if I want to mess that up just so I could bring in a dude who's going to keep doing this every half court possession.
Yeah.
Like, and again, not to take nothing away from how incredible KD is, but it's just
That's all
at
he
some
is now. At
point,
this point,
bro.
that's all he's doing.
Yeah, at some point, it's like, come on, bro.
Top of the key, begging for the.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. And then Denver. I felt like Denver
Mhm.
should have just. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I wanted Denver to do. I just wanted them to do something. I feel like you guys are an endurable team, and
Mhm.
y'all, you just need more. If it's going to result in you paying Peyton Watson $120 million, you got to start asking yourself some real questions,
They
bro.
better not, because you already messed up paying Christian Braun all that money.
Like,
Learn
come
from your
on, bro.
mistakes.
So they're another one that I was just kind of like, I don't know where they're going. I don't know what the direction is at this point.
Yeah, you're spot on with Denver. I had Denver as one of my teams that I feel like didn't make enough moves. You and I, we both talked about it early in the season, and I had mentioned I think they should have moved off with Jamal and Aaron Gordon because of just their injury history and what
Hmm.
happened. Injured again, and now
It just keeps
you're
happening. Yep.
this. And I know it may be hindsight, but again, this isn't really hindsight. We talked about it prior to the season starting. But while their market was still a little bit high, I think you could have gotten a lot of help because again, your player is Joker. That is your key piece. You can have anyone around him and it's going to work.
Yep.
Right. So I don't think you need to be hesitant on Jamal and Aaron Gordon because I have Joker. If you had someone else that was like a LaMelo, okay, cool. I'm curious about what I do. It's Joker. He'll play with anybody. So I was very disappointed in Denver. But I still think they're going to try to trade off of them. Will it be before the season starts? I don't know. But also, I saw they were in the sweepstakes with Jalen Brown. I thought they were going to get him, which I would have
I
loved.
saw that too. I would have
I
loved
would
that
have,
pairing as well.
bruh, I would have loved to see them two play together because Joker doesn't care. He would have took a not a
Yep.
backseat, but he would have let Jalen Brown be vocal and say he's a
Yep.
leader and there wouldn't be any clash there. So I'm not mad at Jalen Brown going to Philly, but I would have liked to fit better from a basketball standpoint with Denver.
Denver.
So I still think
I thought so too.
Philly still got a lot to work through. Houston, I don't know what
They're
Houston's
another
doing.
one.
I have absolutely no clue what Houston's doing. I don't know. Like they paid Tyrese, and to me, I just feel like they don't know what they want to do. I don't think they don't have their superstar player anymore. You thought it was going to be Jalen Green. Jabari Smith hasn't showed the promise that you thought he would make, but I think part of that KD addition ruined his progress, and then
His
now that
development.
just seems
Yep.
like his confidence is killed. It seems like the burner situation, KD talking about them like that'll kill a kid's confidence. Um,
That shit was
and
so weird, bro.
it's weird, like you talking about your players, and I know they wasn't cool with it, but again, these I'm not trying to talk about like where these dudes from, but they not pushing back on KD. Like
I get it. I get it.
they not,
Yes, you a
and
young dude. That would be hard. That'd be hard
because
to
it's like
do. I
It
get
is
it.
KD, but also like
Yeah.
as a man, because to me, we're not even talking about basketball. You are a better player than me. I know that. But how are you supposed to be the veteran here and you talking about us? You're not figuring out ways to get us better. At this point, cool. Go hoop in the gym if
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna be
are
that
up.
person. Yeah, if you want to be by yourself, like cool, go play with somebody else then, or if that's what you want to do. And to me, like I hate how we're kind of seeing some of that stuff happen with KD because this just gave me the energy as to the reason why he went to Golden State. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a I don't know. I don't want to keep saying that it wasn't like really a basketball move, but it was
But
just a move that someone that great, you don't make that move. I don't care
no,
how you cut it.
not with the organization that drafted you. That's crazy.
No, not at all. So, but I hope if Katie does get moved, he goes somewhere that he can actually help. I know him and Cade have been pretty tight.
Seem to have a
Saw
good
him give an
relationship.
interview.
Yep.
Yeah, with him getting with Cade getting his new shoe this year. So, but yeah, I was upset with Houston and then Detroit. You already kind of touched on it. Cade is your guy. If Devin Durant is pissed that he's not getting paid, and he said he wants to sign and trade him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bet, cool. Where you want to go? Can I get the
Send
right
your
pieces
ass
that's
to
going to
Sacramento.
come on? Who do I need? Or hey, Utah, do you want to keep any players you want to get rid of? Is whoever. But at this point in time, if that's not it, he can go. Um, but yeah, man, I think we got to see how some of this plays out. I know we got a little bit more time with free agency, and I know a lot of teams are waiting down on this other domino to fall that we haven't addressed yet. But LeBron
Mm-hmm.
James,
Yep.
Rich Paul has put up this board, and he's showing all the teams now that have narrowed it down to. So
I
what you
know
got, and it's funny because I really did want to see him go to the Knicks, but I see that because the Knicks won, the Knicks are out of the picture.
that. Yeah.
But you
Thank
got what?
goodness.
San Antonio. You got San Antonio, Miami, San Antonio, Miami, Cleveland, Golden State, Philly, and there was one more team in there. I can't think of who it was.
I can't either. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, where do you think
So
LeBron headed,
man,
man?
I'm gonna go with the easy one. I'm gonna say he's gonna go to state.
So you think he's going to go to Golden State? Now, where would you like to see him go?
From a basketball perspective, I don't know if there's any place that makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
I think there are arguments that could be made to every destination, right? Like, I mean, sure, he could come to Cleveland. We could utilize
Hmm.
a three without question, especially you just
Yeah,
lost Dean Wade. It would be a great reunion for the city. It would generate a whole lot of money for the city and
plenty of
for the
revenue.
organization.
Hmm.
Those tickets are going to go through the fucking roof. And I'm not mad at him even playing alongside James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. I
Hmm.
think there could be, something that could work there. So I
Hmm.
guess if I had to see him go anywhere, Cleveland wouldn't be a bad destination. But to me, Golden State is the only thing that makes sense.
Just go have fun.
Come on, bro. It's two
Just go
hours
have fun,
away.
bro.
You know,
Hmm.
you don't have to do a whole lot logistically. I think the hard thing for me to imagine is LeBron, even a year, spending a year
Hmm.
somewhere other than LA at this point from a
Yeah, somewhere
lifestyle
close.
perspective.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would probably go with Golden State. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Golden State's going to happen whether AD gets there or not.
Yeah.
I still think, and I ain't gonna lie, I like the way we both talked about, we were texting Yaxel Lindenberg, seeing how he's
Mm-hmm.
playing. I think that can be a really good development, being underneath Steph, Draymond, and LeBron. And I get it, people are going to talk about Yaxel's age, but I don't care. A star is a star. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the
Yeah.
age that, your Tim Duncans came in at. Michael Jordan wasn't
Yep.
a sophomore when he came in the league. Most guys did. So I think he's going to go to Golden State. And I'll say this: there's two teams I wanted to see him go to. Well, three. Knicks was one, but I would say no just because they won. So like you kind of cancel it now. But Golden State, just to see him play with Steph, those ticket sales are going to be through the roof. I still think it
Yep.
makes sense, like you said, logistically, still being able to be close to Bryce in Arizona, catch his
Yep.
games. But also San Antonio. I would not
Okay.
mind to see him in San Antonio to where if he's still saying that he wants to compete at a high level and win, San Antonio could use him. And he
Absolutely.
and he would not be in the way. But if he's like, you know what, I want to compete still, but like mainly have fun, go to Golden State.
Gotta go to
But I
sleep.
think San Antonio, because what if you were to insert, because he's a free agent, if you were to
Mm-hmm.
insert LeBron in the Spurs lineup, what would your five be?
It would probably be De'Aaron, Stefan, Brian, Tobias, Victor.
Boom. And then off the bench, Dylan,
Dylan, Keldon Johnson, Harrison
Keldon,
Barnes,
Harrison Barnes,
and
Carter Bryant,
Carter Bryant.
and then
Yep.
a rookie
That's
Reed.
nine right there.
And
Yeah.
then a
And
rookie
then Reed.
Reed. And then whenever Jaden gets healthy, right, he can probably swing between a three and a four. Um,
And yeah, he and Terrence will
that
probably share
sounds like
those
a good
minutes.
team. That sounds like a really good team that I would rock with. So to me, and I think just the history there with San Antonio, I
How
don't
far is
think he
that from
has
LA?
to. He a little trip.
Okay. But I
It's
mean,
a trip.
he taking private jets. It's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. He ain't even worried about that as
That's a good
much.
point.
But
He not even, we acting
he
like
not.
he about to go check in at TSA.
Yeah, 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 no, no, no. He not worried about none of that. But I think both of those locations, Golden State and San Antonio, would be nice. But San Antonio also just that transition to
Mm.
see him and Wimby, like,
That would be fascinating. That would be fascinating. That pick and roll is going to be nuts.
because now you get somebody that can really teach those guards how to play very easily within this game
Hmm.
because you'll have somebody that should not be getting stopped. Like, how do y'all get? And I think they may need to call Chris Paul. Like, hey, Chris, I know you retired, but
I'm not going to lie, bro. And I felt like that's what they were low key missing. That's what
they
they were
were,
missing in the finals. They were missing CP,
they
a
were.
veteran guard who is going to limit mistakes.
Like Chris Paul didn't have to play no minutes in none of them series except for the finals. And all he had to do was play in the fourth quarter for about 5 minutes,
That's
and you
it.
would have won a
That's
game.
it, bro.
He had to guard nobody. All he had to do was be Chris Paul. You would have won a game.
That's it. Set Wimby up, talk,
Don't turn the ball over. Don't take
teach.
dumb
That's
threes.
it.
And you could have
I'm
you
not
could have had a
mad. I'm not
series.
mad at Brian going to San Antonio. If he don't mind being down there for a little minute, get a
Yeah,
soft song. Shit, he might be a vibe for
man.
Brian.
See what he does, bro. But we can pivot, man. Let's talk about Summer
Hmm.
League. Summer League is on the way. We got to see a really, really good draft. And by a good draft, man, I know people are trying to say they feel like this was top heavy. And I'm seeing guys like Cameron Carr, who was picked 24th by the Lakers, having a really good showing right now.
Hmm.
Yaxel, who people kind of had
Yes.
questions about, right? Doesn't miss a bucket his first game. And even the likes of when you do think about your top five guys, looking at oh my goodness,
DP.
not just DP, but DP to me, we already knew he was pro ready, but he just keep giving us more and more confirmation that
Hmm.
he's been an NBA player. But Darius Acuff, like I know people are talking about him going 9 for 29, but even me seeing him being aggressive, that's what you want out of
Yeah.
your player that he knows I'm getting ready to be the star. I gotta go. Let me go get after it right now. Let me not hesitate. But what's your thoughts going into summer league, and what are you expecting to see from? some of these players that not even just your early lottery guys, but what are you expecting just to see in general from a lot of these players?
Well, I say that one of the things I really do enjoy about summer league is it does give us um, a genuine sample size of what we can
Mhm.
expect guys to translate into when the real season, the regular season gets here. Um, and I think so far, guys have showcased what their strengths are going to be, and it aligns with what we expected. I'm not discouraged by the idea of Acuff shooting 29 shots in a summer league game.
I
Who
do not
gives a
care. I don't care if he didn't make a shot either.
It's summer league. Right,
It's the
yeah, it's
point.
like whatever. This is what you're, yeah, exactly. This is the
It's the
point. This
point.
is what you're supposed to be getting this off for. And especially because he's going to a place where he's going to have to shoot that bitch at least 20
Has to.
times a
Has to.
game. Like, who else is going to shoot the ball?
Allen Iverson like
So,
it's going to look very much like Allen Iverson in
and
Philly.
he's a Reebok kid. So I'm sure AI is in his ear like, hey, bro, get it up.
What you got to do?
Because at the end of the
30 shots a
day,
game.
the Tyrese Maxeys of the world, the Jalen Brunsons of the world, the Steph Currys, they exist. Damian Lillard, they exist. And
Hmm.
they getting paid a lot of money to put the ball in the hole from that point guard position.
Hmm.
And so if I'm, you know, Sacramento, I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing out of him.
Hmm.
And he is an attractive prospect from a marketing perspective. He's a Detroit kid.
Hmm.
He gonna come in with a different kind of aura naturally that Sacramento I don't think has had since maybe that '02 team.
Bibby. Not
Exactly,
even with the
like the
Aaron
C
Fox year.
Web and
That
them.
was kind of,
Like, come
yeah,
on.
it was back with them. And I wish, I'm still pissed he didn't get picked up by Brooklyn. Um, I still like Mikhail going there, but I think
Yeah.
their makeup was built for those Brooklyn Lights. And he would have
Yep.
had a couple of vets in Michael Porter and Julius Randle that I think they probably would have moved, seeing A-Cuff needs the ball and they shooting too much. Like, all right, now we got to get up off of y'all.
Yes, but yeah, no, for real, for
But
real.
nonetheless, I think Darius Acuff is going to have some good growing pains this year because that Western Conference is a bloodbath and full of guards. He's
Yeah,
going to have to go through
gonna
Shea,
learn a
like you
lot.
said. He's going to have
Yep.
to go through Steph. He's going to have to go through
Yep.
Ja. He's going to have to go through
Yep.
Ant,
Yep.
LaMelo. He going to get cooked a lot of nights.
Jamal.
But
Yep.
it is going to build a monster out of him if he lets it, which I think he will, as you've already spoken about that cloth that he's made of. What's your thoughts on DP, bro? We both hot. We both DP guys. We just have one knock. Like we both have said,
Yeah.
this is like very Kobe Kawhi-ish,
Yeah.
where we see the talent. I see the play style. He makes it look very easy, but I'm concerned about will he have this injury issue that he had in college. But what your thoughts about DP showing and what you think he'll be in the league?
Well, looking past the injury history,
Hmm.
assuming that he is going to be healthy, boy, he is really good.
Really
And
good.
I actually really like the way that he looks alongside Ace Bailey and Cody
Hmm.
Williams. Like, I think that there needs to be a greater investment in Cody Williams. I think that needs to be your long term wing option,
Yeah.
right?
He
I
could be
think,
his brother. He could be
yeah,
just like
no,
JB.
seriously. Seriously. And I think he's a little bit taller, but he
He
has
is.
a
Yep.
lot of the same physical tools. I mean, he punched up somebody the other day and it looked very fluid.
Hmm.
His game looks fluid. He looks stronger.
Hmm.
Ace is starting to come into his own a little bit more. You can tell that he's learning what what are shots that are going to become my shot, like shots
Hmm.
that I want to get to, versus this is a bad shot, which
Correct.
was an issue that I think he
In
struggled with a
college
lot last season. Yeah,
and
and
last year.
especially in
Yep.
college.
Hmm.
Um, so I like the way that the three of them look together. I'd be interested to see how they'll, especially DP, insert him with the rest of that starting lineup. Still curious to see how him and Keontae handle the primary ball handling
Yeah.
responsibilities in the backcourt. But DP looked incredible, man. Cam Boozer looked really good.
He did.
Um,
They just got a
he
horrible
looked.
ass roster. That roster
They
is.
suck.
Whew. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah.
That roster probably
Dumpster
in 2K
fire.
is gonna be a 56.
Yeah, they suck, bro.
I don't even know.
I'm
Oh my
I'm
goodness, they
sad for
traded
him.
everybody.
Yeah, they don't have. You talking about a rebuild,
Ooh.
and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get anything in the offseason from free agency. I mean, nobody's going
Mm-mm.
there.
And they already been
That's
talking about the
less
city, so
money not to go.
Y'all better hope y'all get the number 1 pick and Tyrann Stokes walks into that bill next year outside of leaving Kansas. If not, you're going to move that team real quick, or y'all going to let Cameron Boozer sink.
And honestly, it wouldn't be a bad
Memphis.
idea to consider moving it just to Nashville.
Up the street, might as well. But that Utah piece, what I think, and I kind of want to apologize to the Utah Jazz organization, because earlier in the season last year, I'm like, I don't see the vision. I don't get what they're doing. And now, even seeing, I question them not giving Keontae George an extension. And again, this is where I'm sitting and not in the front office at the moment.
Right.
I think they were waiting to see how DP was going to perform. And again, Summer League is a very small snapshot of what a player can do. I just think they want a confirmation, and maybe they'll test the waters and see how they can play during the season. But Keontae George is going to be a very valuable asset for the Jazz, and the Jazz can move off of him and get more pieces to add around them. Now you're looking at mimicking a OKC, San Antonio Spurs type structure. And I think that's the game that Jazz, that Danny Ainge is playing right now. Like, you know what? I don't need to give Keontae an extension right now. I can wait and maybe let somebody else pay. Or I could do a sign and trade and help match, another player of his caliber or players of his caliber, and add this to our roster based on that extension. So Jazz got what they wanted in DP. I know DP said he didn't want to go there. Danny Ainge don't care. Same way as Bailey.
Who cares?
Come on to these mountains, my boy.
Who cares? Yeah.
Come to these mountains. Y'all can come here and hoop. Ain't got to worry about nothing else. That's what you're here to do anyway. You're here in the NBA to play basketball, not have a party lifestyle outside of this.
Take guns to strip clubs. That's not what you're here to do.
Come on, bro. So I think Utah Jazz is in an actual really good spot. And
they look good.
They may, because now who do you have in there? But you got Jaren Jackson. Who else you have down there? You still got Lauri Markkanen. Anyone else they got? They got rid of Walker because Walker's in LA now. Which that LA team, I still don't know what they're going to do in LA, to be honest with you.
I didn't like any of the moves that the Lakers made. I mean, and I guess you felt like you had to pay AR. Sure. But then you bring in Walker Kessler, and I to a degree understood where Stephen A was coming from, especially in a place like LA. Traditionally, no, that's not how your rosters have looked.
People were calling them the Snow Time. They said the Snow Time Lakers.
Hey, that's who that is.
Snow Time Lakers is
You got a Beach Boy lineup. Y'all wildin'.
Bucket getters, though.
Yeah, bro, I don't know. Yeah, but y'all ain't gonna stop nobody on defense, with the exception of Colin Sexton, and I don't think he's gonna be a starter. Well, he can't be. So, again, man, I don't know. I don't know what LA's gonna do. Yeah, and perhaps they may be a team that's like, listen, we're going to take the approach that we expected Boston to take last season, which was we're going to coast this year. We locked in AR. Luka's locked in. We locked in Walker Kessler. We at least have a core three. We'll sign a bunch of guys on 1+1s or 1-year extension deals, right? We'll let the season play out. We'll see where the chips fall. We'll try to regain some draft capital, and we'll rebuild around this three, you know?
You think they waiting on Joker? The Joker hasn't signed his extension yet.
Listen, it's not a bad idea.
He hasn't signed his extension yet.
It is traditional for world-class bigs to play in LA.
And he hasn't.
That would be my pitch.
That's something I've been having my eye on. I'm like, man, are they trying to set up to get Luka Joker
and Jokic? Because to your point, Walker Kessler will be an obvious trade piece that you will throw in there if you had, you know,
if you need to
take that,
because the money can help
take that approach. But I mean, I don't know. You might be on to something, bro. Think you're cooking right now.
If I'm LA, I'm eyeballing because I think Luka will stay in LA. I don't know what move you make to put Luka somewhere else unless it's Miami. I don't know where else Luka goes on his own will to say, "Hey,
Right,
I want to go
right.
here and play
And
basketball."
he doesn't strike me as somebody who wants to keep chasing organizations.
No, no, he's way too good for that. But I don't think Denver. I don't think no one looks at Joker like, oh, he owes Denver. No one's gonna be mad at Joker for leaving, if that
Mm.
makes sense. Like if Joker were to say, "Hey, I played my contract. I want to, right? I'll play it
Explore my
out."
options. Yep.
Because man, let me see, man. Now I'm very curious. I want to see when is he. Matter of fact, he may have 2 more years, 1 or 2 more years. I think it may be
Okay.
this year, and then maybe a player option on the last year. And
Okay.
if
So
that's
he
the
may be
case,
looking 2030.
possibly. So I think it may be this year he'll play, and maybe the following year. Maybe the following year. The following year, not this year, but next season, he may have that player option.
Hmm.
Because right now he's due for that extension, which I guess I
Decisions
don't
will
think.
need to be made.
Yeah, man. So I'm curious on what happens, but I think NBA's in a good spot right now. I like the teams and
Hmm.
who's been picked. I want to see how these rosters get filled out, and so we can have just some more dialogue around. What do we think these
Regular
teams would
season look
do
like. Yep.
entering the season? I've seen they've set some of the Emirates Cup. They've gotten some of those. I think those divisions set in place, and I'm happy to see. Man, I'm not sure if you saw, bro, but they're going to play the championship game in my hometown in Indy at Butler.
Ah,
So at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and on my birthday too. So
that'll be live. Oh, we might have to do that.
man, listen, do a show there. So I'm like, oh yeah, and Hinkle. I'm like, Hinkle is.
We might have
I'm
to
not
do
sure if
that.
you've ever been to Hinkle, bro, but it is
I
like,
haven't.
bro, to me, it feels. It's like it's really light on the court, but it's kind of like dark around the ring. It's almost like Madison Square or
Okay.
How old Staples
Okay.
was. But it's like just one of those old traditional gyms that you feel basketball when you walk into the arena, bro. Like
Yeah.
instantly. So that'd be dope to
We
have
might
it
have to
there.
do that.
But no, man, lot of good information and news this offseason thus far. I'm looking forward to keeping up the coverage. Chris, anything you got for any of our people that's watching? We appreciate it again. But yeah, Chris, what you got for them?
Absolutely. Man, I'm just excited that we were able to do another episode. We've missed you guys. We appreciate you guys supporting us, commenting, viewing our content. Please continue to support, and we're gonna try to be more consistent, man.